I did a video recently on how the Doug Ford government in Ontario has cancelled the basic income pilot, and how even conservative voters, Doug Ford voters, who were relying on that, are now shocked and disappointed at what the Doug Ford government is doing. Now, luckily, we have a strong opposition in the NDP who have been asking Doug Ford questions about this. Now, watch how Doug Ford responds to this question about the cancellation of the basic income pilot.
Next question, the member for Thunder Bay Atikokan.
Thank you, Speaker. To the Premier, when did the government inform participants of the basic income pilot program that the program was to end, and have they been informed when they will no longer receive the income they have come to count on?
Premier. Question was addressed to the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, we had a little issue. For the people at home, we're dealing with a serious issue on the other side of the aisle. We have one of the members from Essex just tell us he's going to throw a landmine and blow this place up. That's it. You know, I think the cheese has slipped off the cracker with this guy. When he is threatening to blow this place up, that's a serious, serious issue we're facing. And he said we're bringing a landmine.
The Premier will take a seat. Yeah. The Premier will take a seat.
What the hell even happened there? There was no bomb threat. Doug Ford was just being a bloviating dipshit. He either didn't hear the question and was too embarrassed to say that, or he knew the answer and didn't want to vocalize what it was. So, this is the Premier of Ontario. Now, luckily, the MPP that Doug Ford was targeting didn't play the game. So, this from HuffPost. Natashak did not rise on a point of order to correct Ford or challenge the Premier's accusation, but his regular seatmate in the second row, Algoma Manitoulin MPP Michael Mantha, said he didn't hear his colleague make any threat about bringing a landmine into the legislature. My bigger concern is that this is the second attempt by the Premier in regards to making allegations against a couple of our caucus members, Mantha told HuffPost Canada in an interview. So, this isn't the first time that Doug Ford has done something like this. He has used this distraction tactic before. So less than 2 weeks ago, he did this. Doug Ford accuses NDP MPP of disgusting imitation of MPP's accent. Ontario's Progressive Conservative government refused to answer questions from the official opposition on Tuesday after accusing a veteran NDP MPP of mocking the accent of a fellow legislator. A war of words erupted as the NDP peppered the PCs with questions on new legislation that aims to drastically reduce the number of city councillors in Toronto and cancel regional chair elections. So understand here, the PC government is playing games. They don't actually want to answer the questions, the legitimate questions that the NDP are throwing at them. So if this happened to a government that I supported, I would be angry about this. This Doug Ford government is really... Ontario has not seen anything like this in recent memory. This is not a typical PC government. This is a very Trump-like government. Doug Ford is very Trump-like. He uses distraction. He has been tearing things up without any due process through any of it. This is a guy who has had every advantage in the world. He was born into wealth. He inherited his business from his dad. His father was an MPP. His brother was the mayor of Toronto. He's had every advantage possible. Yet he pretended while he was campaigning to be for the, quote, little guy. Very similar strategy to what Donald Trump did. So, if you voted for the PC government, for this PC government, you have to recognize this is not normal. This is typically not how Canadian politics is done. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, we are becoming very Americanized, and it's disturbing. Now, luckily, as TVO points out, their broken promise on the basic income pilot is actually one of the first rips in the progressive conservatives' big blue tent. As Steve Paikin writes, Hugh Siegel, one-time chief of staff to former PC Premier Bill Davis and a longtime champion of the pilot program, called the decision a horrific mistake, adding, "I'm embarrassed as a progressive conservative." So it's not even been 2 months into this PC government, and they are already showing signs of ripping apart. Already showing signs that not everyone that has been a supporter of the PCs in the past are supporting this government. So I'm at least a little encouraged by that, and it's not, like it is in the US where every politician, every conservative politician, every member of the GOP is supporting what Donald Trump is doing. I shouldn't say every, but for the most part. And this is only 2 months in. So they're recognizing that what this government is doing, and not even just in terms of how the performance of Doug Ford, but the actual policies, what they're doing policy-wise, is wrong. So that's encouraging, but it has to extend to the supporters as well. It has to extend to the voters. If you're only going to have, former members of the PC government coming out and saying this, it's not going to do much. You have to be able to communicate that to the base and tell these people, tell these PC voters, hey, look, I was a conservative MP or MPP, and I can recognize that this is not normal. This is wrong. The way that Doug Ford is pushing through legislation is wrong. The cancellation of the basic income pilot is wrong. And at least some of his voters are recognizing that, and I hope it continues.